What's up, everybody? To all it may concern and to all it should concern. I do these videos pretty much kind of spur of the moment. The ones I did with Hamad, I'm like, yo, I need to talk about this. Are you free? And then we figure out the timing because of the time difference, with Qatar and here in the States. Uh, but I'm keeping a track on as much as I can what's going on in Gaza because as Israeli forces are continuing with their successful bombing and killing of civilians and moving in on Gazan territory, while people in the streets and everywhere in Israel are making songs of how they're going to get rid of every Palestinian and lay waste to Gaza and take over. And this all sounds like out of a comic book. It's crazy, but it's true. And an hour ago, um, I'll share this all on my Instagram. You can check it out there. But I posted one post here. Yeah, apparently an hour ago. Uh, from can you see? Can you see? Yeah, there we go. An hour ago. And I follow these up too. As soon as I see something, I go and check. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it. When you get used to it, it's really fast. So, what she says is breaking. It is being like breaking news. It is being reported that all journalists around Al Shifa have been arrested and taken away from the hospital. Tanks belonging to Israel have arrived, and sounds of machine guns can be heard from inside the hospital, where there are over 8,500 civilians. There is no one there to film their crimes. I am terrified. I am too. Now, as more civilians and innocent people are being killed, the oppressors are launching more propaganda. And lately, they've been using horrible acting and terrible everything. That's obvious as hell. You can see on my Instagram. Uh, trying to create some false narrative, false witness. And we've said this would happen. So you have these soldiers going into the hospital, taking over a little area and throwing guns on the ground. And then they're saying, oh, this is Hamas. You're going to see a lot more of that. And looking at a calendar of the day of the week and then saying that these are strategic plans, which is just saying Saturday, Sunday, and stuff to do. It's ridiculous. So what I'm saying is like this thing is looking uglier and uglier. And now that they've apparently arrested all the journalists, I'm talking Motaz, a lot of the people in the links below are captured, and I pray they are okay, but I don't think anything good is coming from this. Tomorrow, I don't know, real soon, this war machine of Israel and the propaganda machine that they pretty much go hand in hand. We're going to see a lot of phony baloney stuff, and the fact that they are just shooting civilians like by the time there is a ceasefire, it's only going to be at this point, from what we see, it's only going to happen when they've completed killing everybody. When genocide is complete, that's when they'll stop. And then they'll say, ooh, Hamas was here. This one's terrorist. Or they'll force someone to say something against their will and then they'll kill them or something. Earlier, I wanted to make a video to address tolerance because we have to. I see protesters fighting each other. That usually happens. Things get ugly when people are very passionate and angry about something. Protests should always be peaceful. And if they're not, then the message is gone and the real problem is more presented. And it defeats the purpose of any doing good. Hostages need to be free. There shouldn't be any hostages. The Israeli hostages need to be free. The Palestinian hostages need to be free for a long time, but no one speaks about them. I wonder why. Because we have a lot of bias and prejudice going on here. It's not good. It's not right. So when you do protest, you shouldn't have to feel angry or no. We are angry. Injustice is angering when that happens. You shouldn't let that anger dictate hatred or actions of hatred. You shouldn't take this out on a group of people because guess what? That's what the terror is doing. People are angry at something and they're obliterating a whole demographic of people who are related to what allegedly happened. Now reports coming out about what happened with October 7th. There's only one kid was hurt, and that's still one too many, but not beheaded. People were apprehended. And also that death was from people unknown. They can't identify it now. And like I said, the truth is coming out. And Israeli Apache helicopters killed their own people too. The painful thing is that the truth is going to be coming out, and or the propaganda is going to be coming out after the genocide is complete. This is friggin' horrible, and raiding Al Shifa Hospital it's nothing but ignorance and hatred. And to keep the West in a pretty ignorant place, we're going to be getting a lot of propaganda headed our way. So my message to you all is you got to be able by this time to decipher between the hypocrisy of what's going on and the bullshit that's coming your way. You should be able to identify it right then and there. Otherwise, freedom is truly lost. Now, it's no secret of what's really going on. What's crazy is this blanket of BS excuses that these governments are using to slaughter people, increase arms race, control land, get rid of a bunch of people. For what? Hey, Integrity, what's up? Thanks for cruising by. I know this is not usually what I do on my channel. A lot of people are probably disappointed, but I have to speak my heart out because this channel is also about that and my heart. My mask is off. I'll get into detail about that later if you want, but I'm really bothered by the fact that genocide is happening and no one is caring. There's a cool, beautiful movie called Rebel Moon coming out, and I feel numb. Not to Rebel Moon, but it looks like the movie is about an oppressive force and people rebelling for freedom. And we're like, ooh, yeah, awesome, da da da. But that shit is happening in real life and no one gives a fuck. Sorry for my cursing. Thank you for the comments. Yeah, I've been seeing this. I have this other friend who made comments and I saw it because it does an alert thing. It's like, oh, approve this comment. Cool. Then I wanted to approve it, but then it was gone before I could even do it. This has been happening a lot. Now, I'm glad you said that. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, no, it is a comment section. A lot of the ones I want to approve have been like being disappeared. Now check this out. This is from World Star Hip Hop that freaking posted this. Like we got some real live Lex Luthor stuff going on. All right. World Star Hip Hop right there. world star hip hop. They say President Biden moves to control the internet. What did I just tell y'all all this time with what's going on? And this was like 30 minutes ago from Khaled Beydoun. I'm sorry if I'm screwing his name. Shout out to him. Yeah, censorship is. Oh. Anyways, it says after days of continual bombing, Israeli military raids embattled Al Shifa hospital in search of Hamas operatives. Raid comes after 180 patients were killed and buried in a mass grave. People, come on. With Israel is in the top 5 advanced military forces in the world, and they got the US on their back, having their back, and you can't use this technology. Check it out. A few days ago, I can't remember, they sent an RX. It's called, I think the missile is R9X something, but it's also called the Ninja missile. What it is it's a warhead. No, it's a missile without a warhead, but it's got a tracker and it's shot from a drone. And what this missile is, it's about close to 6 feet tall, if you put it up, and it's got 6 blades that pop out as it's coming, and then when it hits its target, it shoots the blades all around. Now, the idea is that the missile isn't an explosive bomb, obviously, and therefore the collateral damage is reduced to only the targets in the area. They killed, I think, a Hamas leader a long time ago in his car or building. I forgot. I gotta look at the details. You can do the homework yourself too. But it shot down and just destroyed the car, and you can see where it came in. But they shot these things into hospital rooms with children. So there, and you have all this surveillance technology, and you can't tell where the enemy is in an area that we all know they don't occupy or work or operate in. You send one of those missiles into a building with children injured. That missile shoots, breaks through, breaks into the rubble, spins around, those blades cutting everything in sight and shooting out after it hits its target. I have the video of the kids being hurt and killed, and it is disgusting. You never realized I covered this stuff. This is great. You fully support real topics being discussed. I never planned. I just want to stick to pro wrestling and video games, but this just gets under my skin. We're supposed to, powerful art. Powerful art has the power to change and bring about awareness and heal, right? So, what do you do when you see that villainy in our comics is happening in real life? It's I don't know what to do with my channel really at this point. Sometimes I'm just so enraged with this. It consumes my mind because I love my family. I love my kid. I could not fathom holding her pieces in a shopping bag, walking away from a hospital that's just been exploded, and all my family is dead except all I have is the remains of my child in my bag. You don't need to be Palestinian. You do not need to be Muslim. You do not need to be any relation to people other than a human being with family emotions and connections to relate to the pain these civilians are going through. And their only crime is being Palestinian and being in Gaza. Oh, man. I don't know. This is venting, but my message to the world is shit. You really have to be your own journalist. All the journalists that are there on site, being there reporting for us, eyewitnesses, because that's the only way we're going to get the truth of what's going on. Gil Scott Heron meant it when he said the revolution will not be televised because commercial media is owned by sponsorship, commercial revenue that could always be bought and controlled. And you look at a lot of the commercial businesses out here, and you see a lot of them are connected to the Israeli government in some shape or form, especially Hollywood. That's why so much is filtered. That's why so much stuff is like tweaked a little or let go just to distract us from paying attention to what's really going on. I am definitely ranting at this point, but this is bothering me to the core. Rebel Moon, this is Rebel Earth right now. If you see my last videos, the same thing is there. I have not received a single strategic reason why all this stuff is going. And when I look to the source, to Israel, I see nothing but praise and celebration of destroying people in Gaza. You saw the quotes I had earlier from the I could read them again, but I'm going to be a broken record. The quotes of the leaders saying that they just want to kill every single Palestinian, everyone in Gaza. That's it. And they're bulldozing over monuments. I feel like I want to share screen now, but I'm using a different browser. I don't like how Mickey Mouse it looks. Screw it. I'm using a different computer. So, I'm going to share with you what I've been sharing on my Instagram, which you could check out on your own, but just for record's sake. This thing is so slow. They held was it some gathering at Washington D.C. for bring hostages home. Yeah, bring hostages home. That goes for Israel. All the children they abducted, all the women they've taken, all the human beings they molested and they keep in prison. Why are they still hostages, huh? Why is it only one side, huh? I don't agree with any side that holds hostages. So, I condemn Hamas. I condemn the state of Israel. I condemn Joe Biden. List goes on. So I want to get this out because if it's true, what world star hip hop reported that Joe Biden is looking to control the internet. I've already seen the hand of that ever since I started making posts of this. I saw my activity go down, and I'm not hot shit. My channel is not the hottest shit in the world. I think it's the greatest shit in the world, but no, I don't have the millions of views and followers and all that. But I do see a steady flow or a certain flow of traffic, and then when I use a certain hashtag or say a certain thing, and I do another one that's not, and I see it goes back. Something's going on, and we're all those conspiracy theorists now, huh? It's weird. I've come to know a few, but then they just all have their own agendas with their tail between their legs, and they just want to promote themselves and create some animosity to sell their content and get views and bullshit. But no one really gives a real shit about what's really going on. So I pretty much want at least awareness to get out. People can talk. You got to be your own journalist in this. You got to be your own journalist because the revolution will not be televised. And I hate when songs or shows, and I love AEW. I love Ricky Starks, but man, he needs a new theme song. The revolution is televised. It just grinds my gears. It just tells me no one listens to Gil Scott Heron at all. Oh, man. Rage Against the Machine, anyone know? Listen to them? No? They have some powerful shit. Powerful shit. I forgot what I was going to show you. Oh, yeah. I think I was going to do a screen share. Let me see if I can do it on the YouTube. Hang in there with me. Shout out to Integrity 101. You're really cool, man. What's RATM? Am I too old or am I just not that cool? Or all the above? It's all right. I am cool. But I prefer being hot. All right, so let's share screen some Instagram, and then oh yeah, that's right. I was going to show you some of these powerful things. Man, this one is faster. Mm-hmm. Oh, Rage Against the Machine. Duh. Yo, I don't acronym all myself. Ratum. Haha. I love Rage Against the Machine. Battle for Los Angeles is a personal favorite of mine because that's my town. I don't like how that album is mixed. It's so good. All right. Choo choo, choo choo. By the way, I'm really happy to have you here, Integrity 101. I'm a big fan of how you think and everything you're about, yo. Okay, we will watch Real. Why is it like that? Hold up. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Why can't we hear it? Hold on a second. What is going on? Oh, do I have to squish it? Let's squish it so it emulates what my phone would look like. Wow. That's as squished as it could go. How can we get no volume? Give me this. Technical difficulties live. Wait. How come no audio? Thank you very much for the kind words. This is really cool to see you discussing this stuff. Thank you. I've been trying. If you go to my channel, I have a playlist called Voices for Gaza. It's these videos I make and other videos I feel that are useful and important. Oh, I think I know what I did wrong. I have to do this again. But I said this before in other podcasts too about going electric. I remember there was a time like, oh, everything's going to go electric. We should go electric, or whatever. And then I think COVID happened, and then that stopped. But the issue with electric is I don't think it's cleaner or better for the environment. Now, we all saw Man of Steel. You saw Krypton. It was a city beneath the ground. And if you watch the show Krypton, which is written by the guy who wrote Man of Steel, who knew the backstory with Zack Snyder, took that backstory and made it into a show, highly recommend it. Jeff Johns did rub his stupid little dirty dill pickle of a penis on it a bit, but that's what Jeff Johns does, and that's what DC likes. It was still mostly contained by David Goyer, and especially season 2, because as soon as season 2 was going on, I think they knew they weren't going to get a season 3 as promised, because then they had a lot of nods that were so much more Snyder. They changed the symbol to be more Snyder. They had little quotes like "I have no people," and what's another one? They had a squad named Feora 1-3. Anyways, great stuff, for Feora and year 2013. Man, still coming out. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, they have shown that they built down into the planet because the land above is bad and all that. And in Man of Steel, you see the whole city scene when Jor-El flies down with Arak. Sorry, I don't want to mispronounce his flying dog, but you saw in the distance city lights. So it's actually bigger. Krypton was underground because the sun is harsh too, and usually they have to make a dome to take care of themselves from the harsh conditions. But if you're underground, but anyways, the thing is that they dug into the earth and they destabilized the core and they used the core for energy. Now, when we go electric, what do we need? Lithium. How do we get lithium? Mining. What the fuck is going on in the Congo? A lot of things, it's horrible. And also I hear the oil is very valuable in Gaza. And and we see the Israeli forces bulldozing and breaking down buildings, putting their stick of flag in the ground, claiming land. Hello, people. Hello. If anyone's been a DC fan as long as I have, you know these are signs of occupation, expansion, and genocide of a people. And what? It's on our tax dollar, and I'm double pissed. Yes, I watched one of the Voices for Gaza hour-long shows. Yeah, sorry, it's so long. Left a comment, but censorship got it. Man, I'll try and see if I can find it, but it's weird. I'm supposed to get the comments for me to approve that it's not hateful and all that. I put that setting on, but I did see one comment from a friend. It was beautiful, and I was going to approve it, but then it was gone. At least I could say that for the record here on my channel, and then they'll know, unless they take this shit down too. But I'll do my best to save it. So yeah, what was I trying to do? Oh yeah, I was trying to share this. Okay, the audio is not playing on this end. This is weird. Why is it not playing? Un momento, por favor.
South.
Oh, there we go. I got audio now.
If I go, why don't you go with your family?
All right, we got it now. Hope this works. Share screen. I'm going to be sharing stuff. I highly recommend you all check my Instagram. I'm keeping a lot of stuff there. You've been getting censored for years. You know, maybe that's why I like you. You speak your truth and what's up, man. For you viewers who do not know and you're seeing this, Integrity 101 has been an original legend fighting for the Snyder Cut and more. All right, let's see. Wait, what? Oh, did I screw this up? No. Oh, it won't let me do it now. What? This is bollocks, as my European friends would say. Hey, perate. Damn, man. Yeah, we're just chilling. I really said everything I want to say. I just want to add some visual to this situation. Huh. It's so frustrating. You know, you get used to something. I press a button and then something's not working. I'm like, what's going on? Oh man, I wonder if the Bat Channel has this much trouble. No, they got their shit down. It's just me. Nuts. All right, let's see if this will work. If not, I don't know what to do. Maybe I'll hold my phone to the screen. I appreciate you, brother. Seriously. And thank you for being here. I know a lot of people are intimidated by it does work. I had to reclose it. I feel a lot. It is a lot. People don't want their day ruined, but there's there's bad news, and then there's important news. And if sometimes our hearts have to be broken, our days have to be ruined in order to have compassion, because that compassion builds empathy. That empathy builds character. And then you take that empathy and that character and you do something good to help someone else in some shape or form. We're all connected. I really, really believe that. I don't care how corny that is. Okay, it looks like you're here. Oh, by the way, here's another story going around. This is not the first one I've seen. What you're seeing here is an Israeli talking to an elderly Palestinian. You can see in the picture in the back, soldiers have gotten this area. And they take picture of their helping him and all that. And then once they got that evidence that they're being humanitarian, they shot him. There was another picture going around of another soldier feeding a poor old lady, and they shot her. How did they know this? Well, the picture circulates around because they like to advertise all the bullshit that they want you to think that they are about. Then another journalist, Palestinian or Palestinian supporter, sees the dead body, and then they get the information, or they witnessed it from afar. That's what we've been seeing. It is crazy, ladies and gentlemen. It is telling. It is. Oh, really? You know what? Maybe I will. I'm just compelled to do what I do. I just feel I have to do this. And my boy Ahmed said, I'm doing a good thing, and that's if I am, I sure hope so. I sure hope so. Okay, here we go. That's a beautiful song. Maybe I'll play that at the end for some positivity, some hope. All right, this should work. It is silent. Why is it silent? By the way, this guy is cool. You should definitely follow him. He's a filmmaker, and he's Palestinian, very passionate, and he's trying to do some good stuff, as we all are. Ah, there you go. I had to hit that little button right down there. Had to hit the little button. Maybe this has to be as thin as my phone or something. All right. I wish I could just get rid of all that top stuff. Anyways, here we go. Maybe we could play it from the beginning. It is always like that?
And if I go, who treats my patients? They are not animals. They have the right to receive.
So she just asked him, why do you not leave with your family to go south? Which I think is weird, because every time the Palestinian people were told to go this way and this way, they got shot and bombed. So is that even safe at all?
Proper health care. You think I went to medical school and for my postgraduate degrees for a total of 14 years, so I think only about my life and not my patients? I'm asking you, ma'am, do you think this is the reason why I went to med school? To think only about my life? This is not the reason why I became a doctor.
Why don't you go with your family?
Oh yeah, I shared that one. He did say something neat and good. Let's check it out.
The interesting moment for me came when Israel turned off the power and the water. They just were able to do that to 2 million people in Gaza. They could turn off the internet. And it struck me that that was a very vivid reminder that Israel effectively
Why did it stop?
controls Gaza. It doesn't do so politically, but it does in reality. And that for many young people in Gaza, they know this, and they do feel that they've been living in a perpetual prison camp where their movement is controlled, where their access to basic things like water, energy, and so on is controlled. And that until they get the freedom that they crave, this can never get resolved. The interesting moment for me came.
Yeah, so the links below in the description here. Oh, I think I lost my internet for a second here. Biden's attacking me. Oh gosh, it's begun. Why does it show that? I shouldn't. Okay, now I think it's fixed. Was that all okay? Anyways, yeah, check out the links I have below. It's links to Instagram profiles and YouTube profiles and channels that are covering this and journalists, and I'm adding more to it as I can as I go along, and I'm copy pasting to the next video. So any of my voices for Gaza that I make, check out the details below. I do recommend Double Down News. They're on Twitter. YouTube, and they cover a lot of stuff. The hip hop artist from England, the Palestinian rapper Lowkey, he is awesome. His whole career, his music has been dedicated to bringing awareness to what's happening to the Palestinian people for the last 75 years. And I've been snoozing and ignorant on because, I'm surrounded by a lot of the blood money driven media out here, you know what I'm saying? So it's disgusting. But I don't care if my beliefs are corny. I am an American, and the America I believed in and believe in is for justice, truth, and the pursuit of happiness. Now, a lot of these actions impose on a lot of those stuff. And if we're supposed to be leaders of the free world, everyone should be free. You know what I mean? If some of us are not free, then none of us are free. And I like to champion those like GI Joe beliefs. That stuff is it's not hokey to me. Some GI Joe cartoons, 80s, it's kind of cheesy and all that. No, it was like the A-Team. Everyone shot, no one got hit. But the thing is, we have to truly, 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 truly do our best to be at our best. And what I see by our leaders is not. I see everyone protesting, and this is good, because when I was talking to Ahmed, he said this is like chapter 75 in an ongoing story. And if this is chapter 75 in an ongoing story, we have to wake up now. If everything you believed in DC Comics and your movies and that inspired you, what is good, what is bad, what you must do to stand up against oppression, stand for something or you fall for anything, that time is now. That time is right now when you realize that. And it is crazy. What belief do I think is corny? It's not pretty logical. Well, thank you. It's just I don't know, because it's like you see what people are doing and it's the opposite. Let's go back to checking out some footage I want to share with you. All right, got Pierce Morgan here. He's an interesting character, but he has some moments. We'll go to my channel. Is that what that button does? Yeah, here we go. So just some things I pinned. I thought this was very telling. I'll read it for you. Let me be clear. Hamas' attack on Israel was not just a monstrosity. It was a monstrosity of monstrosities. But I believe to the core of my soul that the response Israel is taking, and with it, the American support, both for response and for the status quo of the occupation, will only lead to more and deeper suffering for both the Israeli and Palestinian people, and is not in the long-term American interest. That was Josh Paul, a U.S. State Department official in the Political Military Affairs Bureau, who issued his resignation on 18th October, citing the Biden administration's approach to the Israel-Palestine conflict. That was a G.I. Joe. All right. Now, I'll share with you some recent stuff. Now, look at this. Is this the actions? Is this next thing the actions? Something of someone would do if you're fighting terror to stop terror in a land, that you're claiming that people are using civilians as human shields? And if someone is using someone as a human shield, why would you shoot the shield? Makes no sense. So why are you bulldozing political leaders for Palestinians. Unless you're trying to turn that into Israel, and you can have that on your decoration to put an amusement park there. I'm just telling. Now, here's a song sung at a wedding from. Here we go. Now, if I saw you bobbing your head to the beat, the beat is good, and that's also stolen from the Palestinians. Same with hummus. Oh my gosh. Integrity 101, you say, why would destroying a monument be a top priority? Very, very good question. We should collect all these questions because I have a lot of questions. But here's some more good in the world coming out and about. That's been killing Gaza. Hold on. Why is this all small? Isn't there a view mode I could do on this? Reels? Is this how I make it bigger? Okay, whatever. Since October 7th. Nobody on this fucking list made it to the age of 4. Not one. So listen, I know if you fucking human, you're gonna feel somebody saying this shit. It's not complicated. Don't let nobody tell you that shit. It's not. So listen, I'm gonna give y'all something to do, all right? Cause I know I just presented y'all with emotion. I'm gonna do some shit with it. Go to this fucking website right now. Please. Call your reps. Demand a fucking ceasefire. If you don't got service, take a picture. Write it the fuck down, all right? So how you go back to the names. Can y'all say free Palestine? Can y'all say free Palestine? Free Palestine! I love y'all so much. I'm out. I'm not gonna lie, that got me choked up. This comedian is brilliant, smart, and amazing. Best song. You should check him out. I'm gonna play some of it today too.
I like how like there's like in the background there's like so.
All right, yo, what he's watching is a propaganda video. There are many of. Someone acts like they're where they say they are, and then they create a scene to help spread some propaganda that Israeli is doing. It's like you do ask yourself, what would you have done in the time of Nazi Germany to the Jews, the innocent Jews? What would you have done? Now we have IDF and the state of Israel occupying and oppressing the Palestinian people. And this is crazy. This is what bothers me the most too. Because, if you're somewhat familiar with the Bible, even if you have faith in it, is enough to know that that area is beautiful for the historic value it has to Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ was a Palestinian. His family had to flee with him when he was 2 because what was going on in the region? They were killing children. They were slaughtering children. And 2,000 some years later, this is astounding. This is horrible.
The fake explosion, and like everything behind her is so pristine, and her gloves are so clean.
Yes.
I mean, you understand, like
all the videos we're seeing.
and the thing is, like, are you guys that desperate to kind of like get a, like a fake nurse. Like, oh, and this was actually like reposted by official Israeli accounts, and it's just like it's so embarrassing. God.
And it's being used to justify the bombing of El Shifa.
Yeah, and the thing is like, and here's the thing: even if that video
Yeah,
is true,
very
which is
true.
not, nothing justifies the bombing
Nothing
of
does.
hospital.
Yeah.
And the whole thing about like Hamas, even if it was ISIS in Gaza, nothing justifies killing all of these civilians. My problem with this is like, since 1948, America has given Israel $370 billion. That's from like taxpayers' money. And if you have all of that money and you don't have the military solutions to go in and don't kill all of these civilians, then you're not doing your job.
Yeah.
You know, you're bragging about like being the most advanced military in the world, and you're just like bombing indiscriminately, and you kill like more than like what 13,000 people. We lost count. And what I kind of like hear about the Western media is like, oh, we're regretting killing all of the civilians, but it's inevitable. No, it is not inevitable.
Thank you. Dang. Oh, this one cracked me the hell up. What you say, bro? What you say? So sick of fake videos being used to justify this or that. Yes. Yeah. And guess what? They'll probably say I'm doing the same thing one day. Or right now. I'm sorry if the picture's small. Hold on. It was bigger before. Why is it so rinky dinky? Do I have to expand this? Will that work? Whoa.
There is a list.
Is that better?
This list in Arabic, this list says we are in an operation. The operation against Israel started in the 7th of October. This is a Guardian list where every terrorist writes his name and every terrorist has his own sheet.
Wait a minute.
Ladies and gentlemen, that list was a calendar. And then they have ones where they go into an empty room after they killed a lot of people and they drop guns there and say, look, we found Hamas guns. Oh, so if that's even true, let's play with the stupid imagination of these Israeli forces that it is true that those ARs look like a bunch of ARs is what Hamas was hiding with the people in the hospital. So for like 4 or 5 AR machine guns justifies you bombing a hospital, randomly bombing the ambulances and dropping white sulfur salts on children and civilians and throwing a missile in. Yo, that's what you do to get rid of 5 AR machine guns that Hamas is hiding amongst the civilians out of nowhere. That's what our government is sending billions of dollars to in order to apprehend and figure out. Ladies and gentlemen, even if their story is true, it doesn't add up or justify killing civilians, women, children. You know what fucking cutting off the electricity has done? People on life support died. 39 babies, newborn babies on life support died. Without electricity and running out of stuff. There's women who are pregnant, going into labor, having C-sections without anesthesia, operating on children and wounded people without anesthesia and with nothing but a scissor to cut off stuff at this point. And you send military forces to finish it off, and you arrest all the press, all the journalists, all the reporters. And that was like what, an hour ago? No, that was like 2 hours ago now. You gotta realize it's daytime there and it's crazy. It's like, what is going on? You saw that Muslim homies guy on Pierce Morgan made some great points. Yeah. Very, very good points. He has another one. It's also on my playlist. See if there's something else to share with you that you can see. I like this guy. This guy eloquently expresses everything I'm feeling right now. We're gonna listen to him.
It's very weird to be a Palestinian Christian right now. It's very weird, mainly because nobody knows we exist, right? When we're all talking about Palestine and what's going on in Gaza, there's this like assumption that it's Muslims versus Jews, which is such a ignorant way to look at the genocide, because Palestine is a land for Christians, Muslims, and Jews who all lived in peaceful coexistence before the occupation and before the partition of Palestine. But really what I'm trying to say here is, as a Palestinian Christian, one of the things that has fucked with my head a lot is watching Christians worldwide support genocide of the Holy Land, right? Like, if you actually believe in the scripture, if you actually believe in Christ and his teachings, I can't connect with those kind of Christians that, I guess, Christian Zionists who believe like, yeah, you know what, like the Palestinians got to be slaughtered, the genocide has to happen, like Jesus would be okay with it because once it happens, Jesus is going to come back, or some crazy shit like that. It's mind blowing. The Christianity I know is a Christianity of love, of compassion. The Jesus that I worship, the Jesus that I love, the Jesus that I know is a Jesus of forgiveness, of sacrifice, a Jesus who died for our sins and on the cross said, "Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do." That's the Jesus that I know, that I was taught about as an Orthodox Christian, as a Palestinian Orthodox Christian, because, you know, Jesus was a Palestinian. You know, Jesus was from Nazareth. You know, Christianity started in Palestine. And it pains me to watch the suffering in Palestine right now. And most of the Palestinians there are Muslim. And it pains me to watch my Muslim brothers and sisters suffer. It pains me. It wrenches my soul to watch them die day in and day out, with the world, including the Christian world, not saying a damn thing. I just think it's a shame on Christians. I think it's I mean, I will say that I don't really associate with Western Christians, but anybody who calls yourself a Christian, if you are supporting this genocide, shame on you. If you are supporting the murdering of tens of thousands of innocent civilians, shame on you. That's not Christianity. You maybe are not a Christian. Maybe you in mind, you know, you're a Christian, but in practice, that's not what Christians do. I would just say that as a member of the most ancient denomination of Christianity, the Christianity that started in Palestine, I will say that if you are not absolutely disturbed by this genocide, if you are not calling for an end, an unequivocal end to this carnage, an unequivocal demand for ceasefire, then we don't worship the same Jesus. And I think that is what's messing with my head the most. What's happening right now in Palestine, what Israel's doing to Palestinians, that's not something any real Christian would support. It's very
This Voices of Gaza continues. And I'm going to leave it short because it was too long. I don't think it's going to reach enough people. It's already too long. I was told 10 minutes is best, Kojay. And that's all I think I'm going to talk. But then, I don't know. I'm just trying to help. And I'm still inspired from the last time I did this, part 4, that a lot of people are voicing up, and it's beautiful. Will it be enough to get lives back? No. Will it be enough to stop this big war machine? I have no idea. And I want to borrow another 10 minutes with y'all, so we can check out this space right here. Let me get this out of the way. Oh man. Let's do this. I'm doing my own YouTube channel that you're watching on my YouTube channel. I really don't know what to say. It's wild. It is wild. But keep talking about it. Don't be afraid to talk about politics. I think that's a false stigma. What should be said is don't get angry or violent towards someone who has a different opinion. We should be able to have adults and have deep conversations. Avoiding deep conversations like politics and religion isn't helping shit. We've done that all it did is grow more animosity between each other. We should be sharing inspirations. We should be sharing revelations. We should be sharing life lessons and understanding of each other and what's going on in the world with our lives to make things better. Or we could do a blanket of ignorance on any topic and any individual or any demographic of people, and then let hatred define what you should think about those people, and then write them off as just rats or animals, and then they could be discarded. And when you see them suffering, you don't care. You put a label on it, some blame. Ooh, they did it to themselves. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. Oh man, we gotta be better than that. And I think if we have healthy communications and talk to each other, we can get there. So for I got time, as much time as I can give for this. So we're gonna do a special here for Voices for Gaza Part 5. I'm gonna replay this video as a reaction, a reaction. Just this is dedicated to my boy Integrity 101, who I believe is here. Yeah. Oh, I saw your message. Thank you, bro. I dig your passion. You show up to so many of these when we're talking about Snyderverse or we're talking about anything else. In the Bat Channel, you support so many of us, man. People like you are awesome because it's the interaction that keeps us going, so we can keep on doing stuff, which we hope is doing some good, or at least entertaining someone,
And ask why it is the case.
Now, I like this guy, and this is from Double Down News, and maybe I can do it. Yeah, because I don't want to copy, but I'm not doing any plagiarism here. I'm just really in it to share the truth, and I know they'll understand because these are dire situations. We wouldn't be doing this otherwise, and it's actually encouraged to share. So I'm gonna do it, and here we are.
You cannot fly the Ukraine flag and not fly the Palestinian one as well. And if you have a problem with that, you need to look inside yourself and ask why it is the case. Because those situations are not exactly the same, but they are similar. There are peoples resisting an occupation. Ukraine, backed by the US, its resistance is good because it is a key pillar of US foreign policy. Israel is also a key pillar of US imperialism. And so its oppression as the invader, as the occupier, is legitimized. You have to do some serious mental gymnastics to not see that. By all means, fly your Ukraine flag. I have no problem with it. I believe in national self-determination and liberty for all people, but also extend that to Palestine. And if you don't, if there's something inside you that's uncomfortable with that, you need to reflect. You need to reflect on yourself and ask why.
Can I ask you to lower this flag, please?
Why is that?
Because the club are not politically sided either way.
Yeah, but it was okay when it was Ukraine, though, wasn't it?
I absolutely agree with you. That's what the argument we've had.
One of the central mythologies of the Israel-Palestine conflict is this notion of a kind of parity of force. There are the Israelis and there are the Palestinians, and they're roughly equal and they're duking out. Palestine has no army, it has no air force. Israel is a nuclear-armed power with one of the most advanced militaries on the planet. The amount of military aid it receives from its main international partner, the US, is gigantic. Just in 2022, it received 3.3 billion in aid. It is completely lazy to suggest that these are just two groups of roughly equal people duking it out. It is interesting to note that even despite the fact there are collapsing and struggling economies, there's a cost of living crisis in this country and around the world, there always seems to be money for war.
That's why tomorrow I'm going to send to Congress an urgent budget request to fund America's national security needs, support our critical partners, including Israel and Ukraine. It's a smart investment that's going to pay dividends for American security for generations.
The president defending his expected Friday request to Congress, an unprecedented estimated $105 billion in security funding for Israel and Ukraine.
All right, I'm gonna pause here because when you pause it, it's not as offensive, I think, copyright-wise, and I'm not monetizing this whatsoever. But what I would like to say is that my channel is under warning. I got stricken before because I was making a great video and I used Joe Biden's speech. I didn't do any extra narrative or anything, but because other videos were attached to it, I got flagged and my channel is in the naughty bin apparently. So wait, is this screen dark? Oh, it is dark. You haven't been able to see or hear anything. My bad. Wow, that was 2 minutes of nothing. All right, well, I guess I can't share it. Interesting. There's a security block. Well, there you go. Anyways, but you can check out that information. Let me go back to my Instagram because it was there. But anyways, the link is in up. The link to that video is in the description below. I'm sorry, before it used to be really kosher and stuff. I think it's just a new browser I'm using for this different computer. That was just pretty much bonus features, honestly. Check out the descriptions below. Check out the links below. That link, the video that I wanted you to check out, Integrity, when you have time. Oh, you heard it, but no visual. Okay, good. We can hear it then. I'm okay with hearing it. Let's continue it.
And ask why it is the case. Because those situations are not exactly the same, but they're similar. There are peoples who see that.
So you could hear it. Okay, that's great. I want you to hear it. It's better if you do. Okay, great. Haha. Let's do it like that. And let me know if you can't hear it. Playing it now.
By all means, fly your Ukraine flag. I have no problem with it. I believe in national self-determination and liberty for all people, but also extend that to Palestine. And if you don't, if there's something inside you that's uncomfortable with that, you need to reflect. You need to reflect on yourself and ask why.
Can I ask you to lower this flag, please? Why is that? Because the club are not politically sided either way. Yeah, but it was okay when it was Ukraine, though, wasn't it? I absolutely agree with you. That's what the argument we've had.
One of the central mythologies of the Israel-Palestine conflict is this notion of a kind of parity of force. There are the Israelis and there are the Palestinians, and they're roughly equal and they're duking out. Palestine has no army, it has no air force. Israel is a nuclear-armed power with one of the most advanced militaries on the planet. The amount of military aid it receives from its main international partner, the US, is gigantic. Just in 2022, it received 3.3 billion in aid. It is completely lazy to suggest that these are just two groups of roughly equal people duking it out. It is interesting to note that even despite the fact there are collapsing and struggling economies, there's a cost of living crisis in this country and around the world, there always seems to be money for war.
That's why tomorrow I'm going to send to Congress an urgent budget request to fund America's national security needs, to support our critical partners, including Israel and Ukraine. It's a smart investment that's going to pay dividends for American security for generations.
The president defending his expected Friday request to Congress, an unprecedented estimated $105 billion in security funding for Israel and Ukraine.
Billions in aid have been sent to Ukraine, billions sent to Israel. Just during the period of the war on terror, the US spent over $8 trillion. And that is while the US has massive amounts of homelessness, an opioid crisis, and various other social problems. So you have to ask the question whether that money was well spent. I can remember being in Afghanistan. It was the first tour we deployed. Hellfire missiles are fired from Apache at 100,000 pounds a pop. And they can only be attached to an aircraft for 8 hours. And so they only have a very limited amount of hours. Most of them during my tour in 2006 were never fired. And those missiles, unused, 100,000 pounds a pop, were then taken home, deactivated, decommissioned, and incinerated, unfired. And when I looked at that, even as a young soldier with no politics really, I started to think about the way the war machine works and the amount of money that is spent on it. And there are powerful corporate interests, arms firms, who benefit from spending massive amounts on warfare.
They'll tell you it's about.
So just breaking up there, he showed pictures of actual soldiers holding their guns. So it's like it's each soldier has thousands of dollars on them. The gun, the vest, the ammunition, the equipment, the camera on top of their helmets so they could capture information and all that, and also the comm links they have to communicate to each soldier. I mean, it's a lot, and I guess they make a market.
Patriotism, democracy,
or some shit about the other guy hating our freedom. But you want to know what it's really about? What do you see? A kid from Arkansas doing his patriotic duty to defend his country? I see a helmet, fire-retardant gloves, body armor, and an M16. I see $17,500. And that's what war is really about. War is an economy. Anybody who tells you otherwise is either in on it or stupid.
There is an insidious relationship between politicians and arms firms and other parts of what we can broadly call the military-industrial complex. The truth is it goes beyond that. It goes into things like entertainment. You'll see films which are approved, which kind of toe the line of the Department of Defense or the Ministry of Defense. They're given support, they're given equipment that they can put on screen, they're loaned troops for the day to run around and be extras. What undergirds that is the fact that war is profitable for a few people. I mean, it's not profitable for us, either spiritually or economically. It takes money out of our pockets, it takes food out of the mouths of our children, it closes down our hospitals and wrecks our education system, but it's profitable for people who are in power. Some estimates suggest there have been 500,000 casualties in Ukraine, and we can look at that situation and other situations currently in Gaza and look at the huge amount of people, the loss of people's lives, the injuries to people, physical and mental, which will play out for many years. And you have to ask the question, if a fraction of the money spent doing that, a fraction of the money that ends up in the pockets of the CEOs and shareholders of arms firms went into programs of peace and reconciliation, would it be different? And I think probably it would. And it's always interesting to me how war is glamorized, war is kind of incentivized. War is always rendered as necessary, unavoidable, even part of human nature, which I reject. War is something manufactured. It's not something you do by reflex. It's not something you do by instinct. You don't deploy thousands of troops by accident or build aircraft carriers by accident. You trip over by accident. These are carefully thought out processes which are integrated into complex economies around the world. All that money is poured into those programs of death and destruction instead of programs of education and peace and reconciliation. We have a capacity for either thing, and it's a matter of choice and political will that you choose one over the other. One of the key reasons that Israel's security is so important for the US and by extension Britain, it's not out of any deep love for Israel. This is not how great power operates. It's that Israel is a key pillar of US imperialism. You can think of it as an aircraft carrier, but on land, right in the middle of the Middle East, projecting influence, protected and supported by the US, by US taxpayers' money, by US hardware. So we should not buy into these arguments, we must protect it because it's democratic. The US isn't that fond of democracy. Go through the lists of the amount of democracies that the US has overthrown in their tens. Israel is a key pillar of US power in the region. We should be absolutely clear about that. Wars are often fought under the banner of security, but that is very rarely what they provide. We have seen increases in terror attacks as a result by people citing Iraq and Afghanistan, for example, because when you unleash a war and you can't control what happens, you unleash massive forces and pain upon the world, and those things will come back. The bomber Abedi, who bombed the concert in Manchester, it turns out that his family were part of the Libyan version of Al-Qaeda, who at the time, because they were opponents of Gaddafi, were supported by the British, and they were brought out by the British, resettled in Manchester. But obviously his radicalization continued, which led to the deaths of those young concert goers in those horrific scenes we saw not too many years ago. And just since the recent outbreak of bombing of Gaza, we saw a Muslim child murdered, we saw a teacher stabbed by an extremist. We're already starting to see these little examples, of which I suspect, sadly, there will be many more. The idea that war is something that brings security, as someone who's participated in it and someone who's watched those outcomes as a journalist for a very long time, just doesn't cut. It just doesn't rub for me. We should be very cautious when people tell us that we're fighting to bring security, because I think now and historically that's not what happens. The world's a little bit more messy and complicated than that, and I think that's a bit of a fluffy fantasy, to be honest. With war rides authoritarianism, both overseas and at home, and this government has a particular taste for passing authoritarian legislation, which I have no doubt when Starmer takes power, he will continue to wield those laws unchanged, unrepealed. It may not be the case that you particularly agree with pro-Palestine protesters, and you may not agree with their stance, but you should understand that people should be able to air their views publicly. And if you don't do that, mark my words, it will be your thing down the line. if you're really committed to democracy in any meaningful form, you should be very conscious and supportive of people's right to protest, because this government isn't, and they will be coming for your thing next.
If there is a need to change the law, just as we did in relation to Just Stop Oil protests last year, I will not hesitate to act.
One of the redeeming things about people is that people are repulsed by war. That is the reason we are constantly conditioned to glorify war. That is the reason there are imperial and colonial mythologies. This is propaganda. This is not something which comes from us. It comes from the top down. Humans have the great capacity for violence, but that is not the only capacity they have. And the fact they have to be constantly conditioned and stirred towards it tells you that it's not natural. There are other options, and that's about political will. It's about educating your mind. It doesn't always work. There isn't always a happy ending, but I take hope from the fact that there is an instinct in people to fight back against what is unfair. We can look at that, take some solace, and that's no better example than among the Palestinian people who suffered decades and decades of oppression by an occupying power. We can take some energy from that, I think. So that's where I look for hope these days. More than ever, and particularly.
So, you can check them out. Double Down News information is down below and all that good stuff. It's a shame I couldn't share it. Usually I can, but I guess this browser, something happened with my computer. I had to get an alternative situation. So it's like once you move into a new house, you still gotta put things around. So oh yeah, I'm coming to an end. I'm just glad you got to hear all that. You can check out the video later. Take care, man. I gotta go. Great content. Keep doing what you do. I look forward to more content like this. I hope I don't have to make more content like this, but I will do what I have to do when I feel I need to do what's must be done. I don't know. I like the ending of that. He was talking about the conditioning, and I played that before, and that video came out 2 weeks ago. But I feel it's very important, and I'm glad we got to hear it. Double Down News is great. Even Lowkey, the British rapper, Palestinian artist I mentioned earlier, he's been on Double Down News too, because he is quite the journalist. And I think as an artist, as a storyteller, there's an element where you have to be a journalist. Otherwise, you won't really convey something that is powerful enough to help heal problems. Ideas are strong. They're seeds. You could plant it and it'll blossom into something that'll be a fruit tree that nourishes people, or maybe it's a thorn tree that hurts. I don't know. I was going somewhere with that, but maybe you get the idea. But the thing is, I had this debate with someone a long time ago, someone close to me. We're still cool, but they believed that we are naturally racist. And my point against them, and I'll keep this short, my standpoint was like, no, I don't think we're born to be racist, because all the times I've been around, family, our kids, and I used to be a dance teacher, and one thing I admire about children is that they have a wonder. They have an untainted filter of this world, and they just want to play, be happy, and have fun with each other. And if there's something new, they're a little bit scared, but they seek to understand. But they do imitate. We all do imitate, what's taught to us, and what's taught to us is usually all the negative. And we do have a capacity for violence, like he said, because we're born to hunt. Hey, no, I've been MIA. It's tricky. It's good to see you, man. But what I was saying is, like, certain things of hatred. I mean, we feel jealousy, we feel envy, we want things, we want to take a cookie when we're little, one more that were extra, or one we shouldn't be eating at the same time. But there's still an innocence and unknowingness about the world. But certain things like racism, prejudice, hate, and war, well, that shit is taught, because it's always geared towards something that feeds infrastructure or a society that's predetermined by some group of people that want to control something, someone's, or something. And that's usually why it continues. And it's always good to see you too, brother. Thank you. I gotta find a new way to do this show, because I don't like the style, the limitations here. I think I might start using my game stream. But the thing is, look, Pop, I like StreamYard because I could do this, but I'm probably gonna have to cancel StreamYard. It's a little too expensive. Your boy is on a tight budget these days. I'm trying to do what I can, but what I'm saying is, like, that person was saying that we are meant to be racist, and I disagree. We're not meant to be racist. We're meant to love. We are one human species, meant to build together. And you've seen it. You've been to concerts. We've seen movies, and we love them, and they're great because it's a collaborative effort of a teamwork of getting things done and doing something beautiful that helps, entertains, saves us from stress, or informs us when we're good of something that is stressful somewhere, so we could have empathy, understanding, and care, and that's natural. And the rebuttal of this person, they said, there's so many articles proving my point. And I said, that actually proves my point. You have to go to an article. I was taking life experience. They said my life experience meant nothing. So then as soon as, okay, here's the thing. When you get in an argument with someone and they take a personal dig at you, that's a different conversation. That's a different situation. It's someone blaming you and punishing you for something they cannot do within themselves in the conversation, what's going on, because we should be conversing in hopes to find truth and revelation, not trying to be right. That is a slippery slope, my friends. I would say the times I've failed in life, the times I've been wrong, have been the most profound moments that defined me becoming a better person after. I make mistakes, but what do you do when you're trying to run from point A to point B and you fall down, you slipped in a ditch, you hurt yourself? Do you get back up? Do you wait for it to heal? Do you go on, or you just give up and stay in that ditch or go back to point A? I think some people just run around in circles, but I used to too, I think, looking back at a couple things. But I want to go forwards. Humanity is meant to go forwards. And all these institutionalized bullshit of putting us against each other only hurts us, and someone else makes money off of it. War specifically. Now, if you all watch Snyder Cut Fighters, I got to find this moment. I had a moment where I dissected Man of Steel, BVS, Snyder Cut, and Justice League 2 and Justice League 3 of what that would mean, I got to split that up and put it out separately because it was actually pretty good. Because now looking back on it, it's something I feel not many people understand. And when evil goes about, some people just stay silent, don't want anything to do with it. And some of us say, hey, that's wrong, that's bad. And some people fight it. And then some people make up some fluffy excuse story to allow it. And this last part is what I feel is wrong with this country and our politicians. But they know what they're doing. I think they're just trying to decorate and lie, saying, oh, no, it's about this date, this attack. No, it's about saving these people. No, it's about getting these guys. And no, if we stop down, they're going to get worse and kill us all. No. I just hear a bunch of excuses and not a lot of intelligence just so they can finish genocide. And then when genocide is done, then they'll be like, oh, my bad. That's fucking horrible. And that's on our tax dollar. So, I'm going to wrap this video up. Shout out to my boy Integrity 101. Shout out to South Cali guy. It's nice seeing you, brother. And I'm going to say this. I love you all. I hope everyone gets through with this, I am praying with all my heart and soul that this siege, this this occupation of Al Shifa Hospital. I pray that our people are going to get out alive. Our people, the innocent civilians, they're our people. They're not different from anyone. They are our people. They're human beings. People who kill other people are monsters. And these monsters are allowed to run rampant. And I don't like that. Beware of the bullshit propaganda that's going to be coming out starting probably now and tomorrow. They captured all the journalists. They were shooting a hospital. This is a very, very dark time, and that was 3 hours ago. This is about an hour and a half, and I saw it when I started, it was about an hour ago. So we're getting close to 3 hours ago. There is no one to capture these crimes, and I think that's what they're relying on. And Joe Biden just said he's looking to limit internet information. So if this is my last message, hopefully not. I don't think it'll go that far because that's super, super guilty. He's already got a lawsuit coming on him. But I don't know. Just you have to be your own journalist, and don't listen to commercial media. All these channels that make money off of commercial revenue, no, it's not news. It's entertainment of propaganda. You have to educate yourself. And the best people are real journalists who are showing you what's going on. Follow them. Read up on it. This thing has 75 years of history, and no one's hiding it. The state of Israel is not ashamed to say that they want Gazans, people of Gaza, to die and occupy it. It's really not difficult to find out what's going on. You just have to do the effort to open your eyes, open your hearts, open your minds, check out what's going on, and be a journalist and stand on the right side of history and stand for good. Now, I'm not pardoning anyone who targets civilians. That is wrong. And that should be the big red flag of who's the guilty ones. So I'm going to leave it at that. God bless you all. I love you. And pray for Palestine. Pray for the Congo. Pray for Sudan. We got a lot to do as far as just being aware. And awareness can go a long way. Because there'll be a moment when you'll know what your vote, what your action will do. That will make a huge difference. And keep voicing up. All right? This is for all of us. All right. Much love. I'll catch you later. Peace out. And from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Free Palestine. Let's go.